Good evening, everybody. Welcome to rounds 9 and 10 of this TGP2 season. Tonight we have Canada and France, and as you can see at the minute, Alistair has set a storming lap compared to everybody else. He's the only driver in the 1:08 at the moment, with the final runs coming in just a moment. Joining me for these two races we have Mr. Roy Scorer. Hello, Roy.
Good evening, Daniel.
So, what are you expecting tonight? Do you think we're going to see Alistair pull this pole position off?
I have heard from other drivers that Alistair has been looking very quick at both of the tracks for this week, and I mean, so far he's delivering on that pace, just whether or not it can translate into the race.
It is indeed, for sure. We've already had a few dramatic moments in this quali session. We saw Owen, who went to set a lap earlier, had a dramatic spin coming out of turn 2. He hasn't actually started on the front row of any of the races so far this season. We will want to surely change that. Although Canada's a relatively easy track to overtake. As we see Jordan finally put a lap in, he goes into 5th place and was a bit wide onto the first corner on his in lap, but that's all fine. That's on the medium tyres as well. So he will surely still have a soft tyre run to come. And that was his second lap on the medium as well, I think, because he invalidated first time around. At the minute, Camo Babo is leading this championship on 123 points. Behind him is Owen on 122, who thought was going to have to miss tonight's races, but he is here. Jordan is in 3rd at 110. Alistair is then 20 points back on 90, with Jack Pearson on 89, Mike Newman on 88, and then we would also have Smokey J's in the title hunt, but sadly he's also not here tonight. So, but we've got 6 drivers who are well in it. It's really entertaining stuff, this, isn't it, Roy?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think, in certain drivers, for the likes of Alistair and Jack, I think, they might be disappointed with their points tally. I think it's an issue of, just getting the consistency right, which I think is what, is Owen's major strength. Where he might lack pace, he makes up for in consistency. Yeah,
and because Jack still hasn't actually won a race yet this season. He's come very, very, very close, several times actually. Australia, when he had the collision with Owen, and Bahrain as well, of course, when I think he crossed the line first, didn't he? But he had a penalty, and the same in Spain as well. As look at these guys all backing up here at this final run.
Yeah, track position is crucial around here. You don't want to get dirty air, even unless it's the final sector, in which case you can get yourself a nice tow. But around the middle part of this track, you want to have as much clean air as you possibly can. Yeah,
it's very true. It looks like Alistair is the first of the big hitters to cross the line and start his final lap. We'll see what the first sector is going to be as he comes around it. He's just marginally down. It's not significant down, and Jordan's out. He's not going to set a soft tyre run.
That's surely just a strategic decision then, hoping that there's no safety cars early on in the race, because that could compromise him heavily. But it could pay off.
Yeah, I can't see the graphic anywhere around the track, so it must be strategic. Look at this Alistair though, 310s up now. He's gone purple sector 2. He is absolutely flying.
He just needs to make sure he keeps it valid.
Jack Pearson is slightly up in the first sector on his previous lap, but nowhere near enough to challenge Alistair at this moment in time. Here he comes around the final corner. There's no invalidation. It's an easy run to the line. Is he going to improve? He does, by almost 3/10 to 108.5. Jack Pearson's 2/10 down.
Will he get a slipstream from the Williams? I don't think he will, or at least not enough that will actually matter. Will he keep it valid through the final chicane?
Camo Babo improves by just 1/10, so he doesn't make any position improvements. And Jack Pearson, well, that sums it up. He did invalidate, and then he went into a wall. So let's watch Owen then. Let's see what he can do. As you say, he hasn't started on the front row at all this season. He is quick around here though, I believe.
Let's see how his sector times are looking. He's nearly half a second up on his previous time.
Yeah.
Which could be enough for top 3.
Yeah, top 3. He might still miss out on that front row, but we'll see how much speed has he got in a straight line down this long straight, and can he immediately jump on the brakes and nail this final chicane? There's no... Oh, there is a corner cut! Oh no! Owen will start in 5th place, and the championship lead, the Camababo, will be 2 positions above him.
Blair Grills comes into the pits.
And
Red
we've got
Bull
Red
pin.
Bull. He doesn't invalidate. Let's see if he can make any improvement. Has he got?
He's backed off.
Yeah, he's backed off.
Quite sure why. Nothing to lose.
Yeah, don't understand that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. He's 14th. Maybe he just likes the number 14.
Quite possibly. Although with 2 drivers seemingly with quali bans, I think that's just setting a lap will get you 14th. So yeah, well, if that's what he wants, he's got it.
That is very true. Yeah. Dom and Alex have quali bans have for this session. So he's also just starting to cloud over a little bit here as well. I wonder if we've just escaped the rain in this quali session.
Quite possibly Montreal can throw up a few surprises, but it looks all dry for now.
We'll see if that's it's the same story on race day. Alistair then, the man from Scotland, is on pole position for this race as he tries to claw back Camo Babo and Owen in the championship. Jack Pearson still, as we say, yet to win in 2nd place. Camo Babo in 3rd. Bazza, we should mention, a very strong performance by Bazza in 4th place.
Yeah, I agree. And let's see if he can carry that through into the race and maybe get a podium.
Yeah, that would be very good to see. We're just waiting for somebody who presumably hasn't retired. I think it might be Alex. Otherwise, we're going to be sat here for another 40 seconds.
As the AI cars continue to trundle around the track.
Yeah, maybe these guys can give us a race. Here's Owen. As he goes right. Oh, there we go. He's retired.
We go.
And we see Owen there in 5th place with his green crash helmet. We were looking at some of the crash helmets earlier. Yeah, big fan of Alistair's, I have to say. Fits in very well with that Renault of his.
So he's still got a black screen.
Yeah, I've still got a black screen as well.
Hopefully this is all normal procedure.
Yep. Classic Codemasters game here. At least there's no update today.
There we go. Oh, I thought we were going to get a look at the grid, but it seems not.
I haven't got any results. Yeah, I thought we were going to get the results, but there's no results.
Well,
hopefully
good thing you went through them.
The race here. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. All the cars seem to be here. And we should probably get that 30-second countdown now for the race starts. You can actually, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see it on from the camera that Roy has as well. You can see into the Ferrari garage there. Can you see that, Roy?
They seem a bit lax, to be honest. They don't really seem... It's a bit like 2020.
Yeah, they get ready for the race starts, and I'm sure they'll be discussing strategy and how to play about it. Ferrari, of course, also botched their strategy yesterday in TGP1. Will they do the same today? We will see, but here we go. We're about to get underway here at Canada. Here we go. The lights come on. Watch the lights. We're underway in Montreal. Has Alistair got a good start this time? He has got a very good start. Jack Pearson slotted just behind. Camo Babo and Bazza will live side by side. The same one of Ferrari very late on the brakes in the background. And look at Bazza and Camo Babo's briefly touch. Thankfully though, there's no contact. We'll probably spin around. Alistair still leads at the back. We have got an instant between Dharma and I think Sir Tom Penguin. But a solid start for Alistair. There was no errors like in Azerbaijan, and he's got away from the field.
Yeah, very good start from Alistair, exactly what he wants. Now hopefully he can just, take off into the distance looking at his qualifying pace, but it's all about, penalties will probably play a part in this race because it is incredibly strict.
They will. Sorry, Roy, Bazza was trying to have a go on Owen there, I think it was Owen having a go at Bazza and forced Bazza to go off the track. But look at Mike Nerd, he's flying! He's baked up, he's 6 places up now as he gets past Bazza. It must have been that Ferrari who was very late on the brakes into turn 1, and it has paid off. There's no damage. but he has made 6 positions. What a start!
Mike Noon getting very racy on lap 1, as he said, up 6 positions. F1 Baza 86, down 3 positions. Indecisive, the biggest loser on lap 1, down 5 positions in 14th after starting 9th.
And Baza is on the, Mike Noon is on the medium tyres as well, so this is a fantastic start for Baza. Jordan is ahead of him, and they're now going to be battling, I presume. He's also on the medium tyres. You have the AWS predictions. The drivers will have their own strategies in mind, I'm sure.
As we see Dom in the pits after the first lap.
Early start for Dom. I think he got involved in whatever happened towards the back of the field. He had that quali ban, and now he's going to be right at the back. He will be praying for some sort of safety car.
It'll be interesting to see how far he can make his way up the field. You see Jordan running in 5th on those medium tyres, both Jordan and Mike on the medium tyres.
Oh, Mike again. He's very late on the brakes. He went a bit too deep that time. Baza may well be lining them up here. Baza made that error at the second big chicane and was forced to lose a couple of positions. He had to go off the track, but thankfully there's acres and acres of bitumen and tarmac to run off-road. There's Mike Noon. He gets the first penalty of the day.
Followed swiftly by Mr. John.
Yeah, Cameron Babbo keeping Jack Pearson honest for 2nd place as well, the championship leader. These two heading into the first 2 corners, 2 medium tyre runners at the minute. Jordan and Mike Noon are the 2 drivers to start on the mediums in the top 10 anyway. Pulled him on the mediums as well. And Dom after his early pit stop. But all seems relatively quiet at the minute, but this is Canada, so surely going to kick off eventually.
All it takes is one safety car to dramatically change the race, which is quite the high possibility around here because you're surrounded by walls. It's effectively a street circuit around here on the Ile Notre Dame.
It is indeed. Yeah, I mean, oh, it's Alex nearly lost it there, but he didn't. This is essentially the 3rd street circuit in a row. Because Monaco and Baku are very much street circuits. This one effectively is as well. I'm sure they'll be delighted when they get to France.
Yeah, I was about to say the complete opposites.
Yeah.
We talk about acres of bitumen around here. Well, France is a completely other story.
It is indeed. And look, Cameron Babbo is going for Jack Pearson, the chosen leader here. Cameron Babbo for 2nd place in this race, and it's a fairly easy move. But Jack Pearson, is he going to try and hang it out round the outside to get back at him? He can't do it. And it's Cameron Babbo in what I think is car number 2, in position 2 right now.
Jordan all over the back of Owen despite being on those medium tyres. Tyre wear shouldn't be too much of an issue around here, so the softs should still be hanging on, but he's all over the back of him right now. This looks good for him in the later stages of the race, if he can just maybe clear Owen and set after the others.
Doesn't need, and of course we do now have DRS enabled as well, of course. We'll see. It's going to be isn't it around the top 4? Whoever the top 4 will be the first to pit. I wonder. Alistair has got a comfortable 3-second lead now. He's just extending that lead. Happy days.
Yeah, it's looking very, very good now. He just has to keep it clean. And it should be, I don't think they put a commentator's curse, but it should be a very good result for the young Scotsman.
And look at Jordan now closing in out. Oh, the corner to arrived just a bit too early there for Jordan. Jordan has got far less ERS though compared to Owen. Will he fancy having a go into turn 1 now? Quite sensibly he decides not to go for it. Seeing more and more penalties appear on the board, but this is Canada. It's Joe, who's right behind Angel versus Death to 11th place. Can't make any sort of move. And we've got Red Bull Kim and Sir Tom Penguin both in the pit lane. I presume that's for strategy.
I would say so, although Sir Tom Penguin
not Red Bull Kim actually.
Sir Tom Penguin did pick up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which will be applied to his time at the end of the race, assuming he doesn't make another stop.
And Red Bull Kim has changed his front wing as well. Jordan is right on Owen now, and you can see there's clearly pressure on Owen as he gets penalty as well. Is Jordan going to have a go down into this hairpin? No, he's not. He's going to wait and hold for DRS down this back straight. Owen, of course, could suddenly decide to pit here. Of course, it can sometimes be a bit distracting in Canada when you're right behind the driver who's about to suddenly dive straight on instead of going to take the chicane. Can Jordan get the move on prior? No, he can't, and Owen does not pit. The top four all still stay out then on the soft tyres.
And here we go, can he get the move done into turn 1? Owen defends, and no, not quite.
The widest racing point you've ever seen.
Speaking of racing points.
Racing points, yeah, Neljak to 9th place there with Mr. John just behind the 10. It's like a Senna tribute kind of helmet there from Neljak. Alex, as he's otherwise known, very nice indeed. Oh, as Owen gets a bit on, Owen gets a switch on, and it's let Jordan through into 4th place, and it might let Owen Mike Moon, I should say, into 5th place as well. Owen had to go a bit defensive there and covers him off. But Jordan gets an easy move into 4th.
But he has picked up a 3-second penalty in that chicane. I think we've had an incident for indecisive at the back in sector 1 at turn 4. Yes, he has picked up wing damage.
Just wonder if Mike Moon, the latest of the late breakers, might fancy a go here. Or will Owen dive into the pit lane? No, it stays out and he does not go for it. Mike Moon, it looks like he's had a very good exit from that chicane. As Jack Pearson does pit, he's the first to front runners to pit. Mike Moon almost runs into the wall trying to get past Owen, but he's got it done into 4th place. That's another move for Mike Moon on these medium tyres. I think he's got a couple of penalties, but certainly on the road, what a lovely race he is having.
Yeah, it's looking very good for both Jordan and Mike on those medium tyres, already P3 and P4.
Oh, Jack Pearson is going to get held up here by Sayer Sports. Oh, he would have hoped to have jumped him. He's going to have to try and get the move done ASAP if he wants to. Oh, no, and Sayer Sports sort of puts him across him. Now is he going to get the move done? I think he will. No, they're still side by side. This is so dangerous around here. Oh, how did they not make contact there?
Jack needs to prioritise the exit, which he has done.
Yeah, and he has finally got the position, but he will have lost probably about a second there, I'd say, at least.
And he has picked up a penalty.
Yeah, he has indeed. So this should be good for Kamababa. You would imagine he will be able to sort of extend his gap from Jack Pearson as Kamababa does indeed now pit. Jordan won't be bitten, and neither will Mike Moon. Owen thinks about, yeah, Owen does, and Bazza as well. Look how much Bazza had caught up to Owen as well come the pit stops.
And Kamababa was held up by Owen in the pits.
He is indeed, so well, just could give Jack Pearson a second lifeline then. We'll see where he is on the track.
That was very cautious from the McLaren crew. They could have got that car out there from what I saw.
Look, it's easy. In the end, Kamababa has got easy ahead on pit exit of Jack Pearson, although Jack Pearson manages to stay ahead of Owen and Bazza out the pits as well.
Jordan,
so no significant change.
Jordan 7.5 seconds back. It could be between these two at the end of the race, because of course Jordan still has to run on the soft compound tyre and Alistair will be on the slower compound come the end of the race. We're pointing out Jordan does have a penalty, and I don't believe Alistair does.
No, Alistair's the only one who I don't think has one. And look, he's got 50% overtake. It's fantastic stuff for Alistair. There we go.
Easy
no
life.
Speeder in the pit lane. He's very cautious into this entry, as you would imagine, as he comes in for his pit stop. Jordan will lead this race then. Mike will be in 2nd place. They will be putting a bit later on. How they would love some sort of safety car or virtual safety car right now.
You see Alistair leaving the pits. Will he retain P3 on track? I believe he will. Kamababa comes around the first turn now. And yes, he's comfortably in P3.
Yeah, fairly easy in the end as Alex exits the pit lane here as well. Is he going to come out close? Bergill's just going to be ahead of him. I think he is. Yeah, he's going to be quite comfortably ahead of him actually. Mr. John coming around the corner. We saw Neljak get through, didn't we, just a few laps ago? Mr. John, and Neljak retains that position ahead of Mr. John.
Closest battle on track now between Mayor Quenby and Bazza. 7/10 between the two of them, as Bazza has DRS in the middle sector.
He does. Owen, well, this race, he made a few errors in qualifying, and it's not been the most perfect race for Owen. He's probably going to be letting Kamababa extend his championship lead here, unless he can do something dramatic in this final second half of the race. Anything can happen, of course, still. got that very daunting wall of champions, which we haven't. I don't think we've seen any driver make any sort of contact with it in this race. Don't want to tempt fate or anything, but it's always there.
And Baz are getting right up to the back of Owen now. Just half a second between the two of them, but Owen has got the better exit from the chicane. Say it's not one of Owen's favoured circuits. I don't think he'd be too disappointed to be in the top 6, as we see a yellow flag in the second sector. I believe that's indecisive, having a moment.
Yeah,
yeah, he does have wing damage. He probably will have to pit. I mean, he is last anyway, he's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, and it was right in the place where Jordan's going through right now. It just happened. He'll be glad that there's no car in the way for him to try and pray that will ghost. Instead, he can just drive straight through there. Because Indecisive has got going again. Presumably, Indecisive will pit. Sports gets himself a penalty now. Sorry, Rod.
And it's Bazza in the second sector who's all over Owen, but Owen seems to have enough straight line speed. He can get a good enough exit from this hairpin and from the chicane. And can he get the move done on this lap? He's half a second back into this DRS zone. He's deploying his overtake. Hasn't got much left. Owen has slightly more.
Yeah, Owen's got more, but Bazza has the DRS and he got very close. If he can get a good exit out of here, he might be able to have a chance, but well, look at this. Owen's not even using overtake this time. He showed that confidence he had the move covered, and he did fairly easily. So this stays 6th and 7th, and this stays is the closest battle on the track, really. Nobody else is within a second of each other.
Yeah, it's all a bit spaced out right now. But, you know, again, Canada with these walls, anything can change. We've already seen a moment for Indecisive in that second sector. If someone just hits the wall a little bit harder, then who knows, we could have this race turned on its head.
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
Alistair is now all over the back of Mike Noon for second place.
Yeah, that gap suddenly disappeared very quickly. I wonder if Mike Noon might have made an error at that second chicane just before the hairpin. And well, Alistair's right all over now. It should be an easy move for Alistair.
And it is indeed. He just breezes past him on the straight with the help of DRS. Through the final chicane he goes.
Mike Noon again. Almost drops it.
Fastest lap in the process for Alistair.
What a great race Alistair's happened. This will help him massively in the championship as he tries to close in on the top 3 of Kamibabo, Owen and Jordan. These two, Jordan, speaking of Jordan, and Bazette, still line astern as we see the Williams getting lapped there of Indecisive.
I think Jordan will be looking at a pit stop pretty soon, if not this lap.
Yeah, I would agree. Where do we think Jordan's going to come out of the pit lane once he does pit then? Will he be around about the Blair Grills? Will he be ahead of Blair Grills probably?
Yeah, I think P7, he might slot in behind Bazza. It's a very short pit lane, but he does have those soft tyres at the end of the race.
Yep, because you do effectively get to cut the first 2 corners on the pit exit. Just having a look at Mr. John, who seemed like he briefly was closing in.
And Jordan pits.
He does. So Jordan in, and so is Mike Noon. So let's see what happens then with these two. Do any of them have to serve any sort of penalties? No, they do not. They both slot on the soft tyres, and away they go. Jack Peterson flies through, Kamibabo flies through, Alistair of course was already well ahead, as here comes Owen and Bazza as well. Here comes Jordan now. I think Jordan is going to come out just behind Bazza as we thought, or literally just behind Bazza. Mike Noon, can he jump Blair Girls out the pit exit? He can. He can stay ahead of Blair Girls at the pit exit. And let's see then, so what can Jordan do on these soft tyres? Surely you would expect them to absolutely fly.
I think Jordan will definitely be looking to get himself on this podium.
Yeah,
right
he could
behind
be in 5th
Bazza.
place now. He's got full overtake as well after the pit stop. He doesn't decide to use any of it there. I think he could have potentially got that move done.
Yeah, he's got a full tank.
Straight into pit. He has indeed. For Jordan.
Can he get a good exit on these fresh softs?
I'd imagine he probably will. 6/10. Look at that. He just cut literally a 10th within that little mini sector there at the exit of the corner. He will have DRS. I don't think Bazza has got DRS. No, he hasn't. Jordan, I think, is actually just a bit too far back though. Into the final corner, picks up another penalty as well.
Can he get the move done into turn 1? Doesn't seem like it. Oh, he's going to go for it. He's going for it.
It's very risky, but Baz well, pretty much opens the door for him in the end. Oh, is he being put off slightly by that lap car? I think he was. And now they will be side by side heading into turn 3.
But he keeps the position.
Yes, just about. And I think then Baz gets a little squirrely as well on the exit, which just saves Jordan a little bit more. Baz are very late on the brakes there as well. Briefly had a yellow flag out as well, but doesn't seem to be for anything significant.
Seems to have cleared pretty quickly now. Jordan will need to set his sights after Owen. Oh, as we see a spin for indecisive.
Indecisive again, then slightly indecisive about staying on the racetrack this afternoon.
Whee.
Oh, there we go. He's got going again. Alistair leads 4.4 seconds. And just wonder, of course, if that yellow flag was to stay out a bit longer, sometimes it can trigger some sort of virtual safety car, can't it? Occasionally.
Look at this. Jordan flying now. Should be looking for the fastest lap as well. Not this time, but maybe on the next tour of the circuit.
And he is catching up to Owen in 4th place then. Jordan will know that this is the guy who is above him in the championship. Camo Babo, though, is so far ahead of them both. He is absolutely going to be extending his lead. Jack Pearson looks like once again the wait will go on for him to win a race this season. 3 laps to go though. Anything could still happen in TGP.
And he usually does.
Usually does. As well, and look at that, Indecisive's crashed out. Will that cause any safety car, big safety car? As Jordan tried to have a go on Owen, couldn't make the move done there, but you would expect shortly now with DRS and these fresher tyres and the exit of this hairpin, you can get this move made. It's a good exit, it looks like, and look at all the overtake he's got as well to use. He's got 25% more than Owen, DRS as well, and will this be an easy move into 4th place for Jordan? As he also, of course, looks for fastest lap, as Roy mentioned a moment ago. There's the move.
There it is. Fastest lap. Across the line. No.
No, he does not have the fastest lap at this time being there.
Now,
Alistair still has the fastest lap.
3.8 seconds behind Jack for that final podium spot, on track at least.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of sorting out, I think, with the penalties. I believe Jack only has 1 penalty, and Jordan, I think, has 2. So, right now, he might not actually get that 3rd place on the road. And actually, you know what? If Owen could stay within a few seconds of Jordan, he might end up finishing ahead.
Yeah, I believe Owen only has 1 penalty. So yeah. So if anything, it's more about Jordan clearing Owen rather than catching up to Jack. As Dom Smith sets his fastest lap with a 1:11.2.
He does. He put some fresh softs on, and he's gone and got the fastest lap. You do have to. In fact, actually, no. You have to be in the top 14 to get the points for the fastest lap. And Dom is very much in that top 14, so he may well get that extra crucial, wonderful bonus, shiny final point.
It's not been Dom's day, but he has shown pace with that fastest lap. What could have been for the Manxman? As Jordan, is now 2.5 seconds clear of Owen with 2 laps to go.
Dom is, of course, the only Manxman in TGP2 now, although there is one other Manxman who would very much love to be in TGP2 at this moment in time, I think, and potentially, if that happens, you could see those two rejoin their battle for Manx supremacy. as Bazet is just staying ahead of Mike Noon here in 7th place. Mike Noon also on the soft tyres, of course, and he will have this back straight and then 1 extra lap to make his move into 6th place on the road at least.
If he gets a good exit now, he'll set himself up very well, and I believe he has.
Yeah, he did, I think. Bazzy got a little bit of a twitch on as well. He is not using overtake though, McNew. No, he's not. Baz has only got like 5%. Mike Noon's in the 60s, and he's decided not to. If he used it there, he would have probably got the move done. Oh, and he goes very wide at the Wall of Champions there.
He has picked up wing damage.
And he has got wing damage with that, which might make this final lap a little bit tougher as he tries to hunt down Baz there on the road. Meanwhile, this man at the front, we've barely seen him. It's been a wonderful, wonderful drive by Alistair.
That's when you know you've done a good race, when the cameras don't even watch you. You're out there on your own. Sponsors won't be best pleased.
Yeah, Renault, DP World and Infinity, they might not be too happy. We'll see their man with his overalls on, all those sponsors on the top step of the podium in a few moments' time, unless he goes and throws it in the wall here at the Wall of Champions. And I just wonder what he was doing then. It looked like he was drifting off track. Here we go, through the final corner, and it's easy in the end for Alistair Bain to take a crucial win here at Canada as he hunts down the championship leaders. Camo Babo, the championship leader, will finish in second place. Jack Pearson, you think he's going to get third. He should get third. Here he comes across the line as Jordan will get fourth and gets his penalty applied, and Owen will keep fifth. In fact, there's no real change in the order as he cross the line. Mike Noon seventh. Blair Grills will come home in eighth.
You see now,
no real change.
Due to come in ninth, and yep, Mr. John, a handful of penalties there. We might see a position change here. Is Angel versus Death out of fuel?
I think he is.
And that's cost him.
Yeah.
That's cost him a top 10. Sarah Sports next to cross the line in P12, which stays P12. Dom Smith, can he move up into the top 12? I don't think he did.
But he does have the fastest lap, of course. So, and a driver of the day is Alex, who he had the quality band, didn't he? He was at the back.
And he's ended up ninth.
Yeah, and he forced his way through the field, and here he is then on the podium. A fantastic win for Alistair. He will be very happy with that. He can close in on the championship leaders even further than he won in Monaco. He's won here in Canada. Kanobaba will be entirely satisfied with that second place. I'm not sure who that Renault representative is.
No, neither do I. Must be, working their way around the staff.
So there we go then, is the final order. Alistair wins, and you can see, look at that, easy win for Alistair Kanobaba in second place. Jack Pearson finishes in third on the podium. Jordan flew through on those soft tyres to get fourth. Owen will get fifth. I think in the end he will probably take it because it's not his favourite track. But after that, it's a bit of a moment on the first lap. He comes home sixth. Mike Noon will finish seventh. Blair Grills in what seems to be a fairly decent eighth place for him. Jack Alex, the driver of the day, in ninth. Mr. John in 10th. Angel vs Death 11th. Say Swords 12th. Dom Smith fastest lap in 13th. Sir Tom Penguin in 14th gets the final point. Red Bull Kings 15th. And Indecisive crashed out. I think that was all 16, isn't it?
I believe so. And the only two drivers to not pick up a penalty in that race were Alistair and Red Bull Kim.
Well, there's something that I was not expecting to hear. Anyway, we'll move on to the next race in just a moment for France, and I will try to work out what the championship standings will be after that race. I imagine Alistair's closed in.
Well, he's closing at least 7 on Kamababo.
Yeah, by at least 7, yeah. That's all though, I suppose. Alistair will now be on 115 points. Camo Babbo will be on 141. Do you like my quick maths, Roy?
I do indeed.
Good.
The human calculator.
Looking forward to this race in France.
Of course I am. Yeah, it's one of my preferred circuits, I have to say. Long sweeping corners, tyre wear will be crucial, and let's see what the weather will be like for this round of the championship.
Yeah, that's a very good point. The weather could play its part here.
I have to say the weather did kind of wreak havoc on my qualifying session in TGP1 last season. I may have binned it on an in-lap.
Yeah,
but,
I remember that very well. I remember that very well indeed. Right, so if I am not mistaken, and I may very well be mistaken, the championship is at this moment in time. Bear with me, actually, I'm not quite finished. There's like a Ferrari strategy meeting. Right, so Camibabo, I believe, leads the championship on 141 points. Owen is on 132. Jordan is on 122. Alistair Bain is on 115. Jack's on 104. And Mike Noon's on 96. That is what I'm pretty sure is the state of play here as we start France. Do you think I'm right on that?
Well, I do actually have a message from Dom Smith saying the same numbers. So,
okay.
There you go.
Okay. Good stuff. Yep, there we go. Yeah, just had that message yourself. Yeah. We are here then at France. Paul Ricard, Bernie's backyard.
You beat me to it.
Yes, the man who bought this circuit and has changed it into one of the finest venues, really, for all types of motorsports and testing and everything, really, in the world today.
Yeah, what a circuit, what a magnificent venue with its innovative runoff areas.
Innovative is one word.
Yeah, some people, find it a bit controversial, but, it does add an element of uniqueness to the circuit.
Yep, it can also make you go a bit blind.
Well, eyes on the black stuff.
Yeah, as the cars exit the pit lane for this qualifying session, and it is totally dry. Babo is out there just behind the Williams. Who's the furthest out ahead on the track? Is it Neljak? It is Neljak. He's going to be the first guy to set a lap time here, I think, in this session. And once he does get round, we would quite like a full lap commentary. Roy, are you quite good at them?
Yes, I believe. In fact, I may do that with the winner of the last race, Alistair Bain. I have heard promising things about him. He's on the medium tyre, currently rounding turn 6, I believe. It's a very tricky corner.
Okay, this is his outlap though. Don't do it for the outlap.
It is. I will not. I am saving. Don't you worry.
Okay. Owen still actually isn't out on track yet, and either is Sayers Sports in. Well, says he's in 16th place, but obviously nobody's set a lap. And he's right at the back. I don't know how they actually ordered them on the screen when the session starts initially, but that's...
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Flag out the final sector. I'm guessing that's for people backing up around. I absolutely hate the final corner around here. Horrible, horrible corner. The pit entry is also very tough here, isn't it?
Yeah, they changed that. It used to be a chicane on the exit of the final corner, and now it's this. You cut the final corner, and it can be quite difficult to get right. As we go on board now with Alistair, get a good exit for the run up to the start-finish line. DRS open, overtake enabled. Pick your braking point for turn 1. You want to sacrifice a bit of speed now into turn 2 so you can get a good exit on the little straight down to turn 3. Keeps it within the white lines. Here we go down into turn 3. Again, sacrifice a bit of speed to open up turn 4, and also sacrifice the exit of turn 4 to open up turn 5. It's all about the next corner at this track. And then turn 6, keep it neat and tidy. Don't want to run too wide. Want to keep it within the track limits and open up turn 7 onto this incredibly long back straight. Foot to the floor, DRS open down this very long back straight as he thinks about where to brake for this chicane. Hits the brakes, hits the apex very nicely. Doesn't run too wide, maybe not as tight as he would have liked, but here he goes. Into the final sector now, into the seam corner, completely flat out. Very easy in the dry in a Formula 1 car, not so much in the wet. Foot to the floor, 8th gear now. Here we go, Le Beausset. Want to use up all the road that you possibly can. Get a good exit now into the next corner, which can be quite long and frustrating. You want to pick a late apex for this corner to open up the next corner, what is effectively a straight. Here we go. Now you want to compromise the penultimate corner just so you can open up the exit into the final corner. Here we go. Get a good exit. Make sure you don't step out too much. Get a good bit of throttle. And here we go. DRS open. Foot to the floor. And what can Alistair do on the mediums? He goes P2 with a 130.0.
It's very, very close between him and Jordan. Less than the 10th. Jordan on a 0.16. Alistair on a 0.82. And they're both on the medium tyres as well. So it's a seemingly excellent laps to start the session for those two on the mediums. And there's another soft tyre runner who can't beat them, and another one. I know Bazet was on the mediums in 5th place. Mr. John in 4th, Bergill's in 3rd as Bazet. I'm not sure what he was doing at the end of his lap there, but anyway. Who else is on a lap time? Mike Noonan is on a lap time, and he has just gone onto pole position on the soft tyres of a 129.6. Thank you for that lap run through, by the way, right?
No problem.
Very, very enjoyable stuff. Here's Owen then. What can he do on his first lap? He's on the soft tyres. He's round this horrible final corner, but you need a good exit. And it looks like he's got that straight on the finish line. It's always a bit later than you expect here as he crosses the line, and it goes 5th. Cameron Babo goes pole on the soft tyres with a 129.3. As the times get quicker and quicker here at Le Castellet.
Camababa should be pretty pleased with that. Overtaking is, well, it's fairly straightforward at this track. You know, it offers a wide range of overtaking spots. So, you know, tyre strategy, you know, you might not be so limited around here. It's not like Monaco where, you know, track position is everything.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for that reminder of what track position in Monaco. It's certainly a lesson I need to learn. As Angel vs Death goes in 8th place. Michael Kenny, as we otherwise prefer him known as. That's his actual name. His actual name is not Angel vs Death, obviously. It's also the pit lane here. Look at this chicane. You know, I'd actually like it if the drivers are actually forced to take that chicane without the computer suddenly taking control. That would add a nice little thing into. Look how tight it is as Mike Noonan enters it.
See who's the next car to enter it. Is not Jordan. Jordan doing another lap, it seems.
Jordan carrying on the medium tyres. Is he going to improve on this lap? He might. He does to a 129.789. Pit exit as well. Look, that's another thing we should really talk about. It's very well. It can cause an instance here, can't it? Because you sort of come out directly on the racing line pretty much.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be, but yeah, it is a bit inconvenient. They should maybe, you know, arguably have that pit exit at the exit of turn 2. Similar to what we see in Abu Dhabi, you know, just, you know, extend the pit lane exit in Brazil as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's enough tarmac for them to create something like that.
Again, acres of bitumen here at Bernie's backyard.
Yeah. Let's make that a hashtag, by the way.
Of course, hashtag Bernie's backyard.
Yep. He's got it's like just a private airport as well, isn't he? Very nearby.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm quite surprised that, you know, we're not racing here in 2020 in real life. I mean, you know why? But again, with that private airport, you know, it's a surprise. It seems like you could contain the drivers quite well.
Could be an easy place for the racer. You would imagine if Bernie was still at the helm, we would probably be here several times, dare I say, perhaps. Not the views TGPSeries, of course, just would be easy, I suppose. But anyway,
all views are your own.
Yes. Oh, and exit to the pit lane for his second run. We've got a lot of the drivers coming out the pits now for their second run. Meanwhile, Jordan is doing the complete opposite as he pits as Jack Pearson sets his first lap time and goes second on a 1:29.4, fastest sector 3. Just a 10th off Camo Babbo.
As you see Alistair setting up another lap. Now on the soft compound tyre. 7/10 down on pole, but bear in mind that was set on the medium compound.
And Baz has gone out again on the medium tyres. So, if this is just a pure strategy decision here for Bazza for this race, just likes the medium tyres around here, it seems, perhaps.
Well, again, I mean, safety car probability probably is lower around here. You know, it is quite difficult to find a wall, although, again, I did in qualifying last season, but we'll gloss over that. But yeah, I mean, Alistair with a purple sector 1 now, looking very good for potentially his second pole of the night.
And just ahead of Alistair there with the two McLarens, Blake Grills is on a lap, and I don't know if they were playing the tow game there, but it looked like there was a little bit of a tow going on there. They may have discussed that prior. It's not absolutely necessary around the tow, really, is it? It certainly isn't necessary for Alistair. Look at that, purple sector 2.
Sometimes it's all about just getting clean air. As we saw in Spa in Formula 3, Lorim Zendelli doing very well just with a clean lap.
Yeah, exactly. That's what can happen. People underestimate Lorim Zendelli, I think, and Louis Delatraz. But anyway, here comes Alistair as he's in this final section of corners now. The long left-hander, and suddenly slam on the brakes, turn in to this right-hand corner. Don't extend unless you'll be getting a penalty. Alistair won't be getting one. Will he be getting first place? He will, a 1:28.6. It's another very quick lap time. Camo Babbo is about to start his lap. He's right behind Alistair. I wonder when Alistair's going to get out the way here. Of course he will get out the way. There we go. There he is right there. Ready out the way and clear for Camo Babbo to go round and set his lap time. Mike Noonan was 4/10 up, but he has invalidated his lap. Owen has gone purple sector 2. He's 3/10 up on his previous lap time, so it might not be a dramatic improvement, but who knows? Maybe he made an error in the final sector on his previous lap.
You see Camo Babbo down the Mistral straight, which of course has been interrupted by this chicane. And we see Williams could have done a better job of getting out the way, has to be said.
Here's Owen in the final corner. Here we go. It's going to cross the line, and can he get himself at least into the top 5? Maybe he's in 7th. It's not a huge. Oh, he's only gone up to 6th. Well, that's quite surprising. Owen not showing much pace so far in this quali session.
He's looking to make it up in the race, although he does have one run left. As you see, Alistair.
Oh, Camo Babbo has lost it. Camo Babbo has lost it on his quali lap at turn 12, and we've got a Williams who's also gone straight. I don't know what that's all about, but Camo Babbo, crucially, the championship leader, has messed up his second run. It was a very tough ask to beat Alistair. I think he was still probably going to stay behind, but still that will surely have a bit of a dent in his confidence.
He has it all to do now in this final run. They only have one lap left to do it. And we see Jack Pearson on an out lap.
Yeah, and he immediately pits, obviously, Camo Babbo. Again, like in Canada, it has started to cloud over, hasn't it? There's 5 minutes to go. Does look very dark all of a sudden, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if rain. I don't believe rain's on the radar. You see Jordan on a lap now, a purple middle sector. He's 8/10 up.
Gone purple, and Jack P. I wonder if he might have got a bit of a tow from Jack Pearson as well, a semi-tow if such a thing exists, as he comes around here into La Beauce. Very tricky corner to get right, but it looks like Jordan's done a decent job there. Look at that, using all of the track into turn 12. That's where Camo Babbo lost it a moment ago. No such troubles for Jordan, and all he has to do now is get around this long left-hander, and again, slam on the brakes with this right-hander. Look at that, it's like dancing with the car as he turns in, and let's see, what can Jordan do here? Crosses the line, and he goes on to pole by a 10th from Alistair Bain. What a great lap.
Reminiscent of Nigel Mansell. Car control in abundance.
Yeah.
Doing very well, and he's got the pace to back it up.
He has indeed, as the other guys come out for the final runs. it's gone so dark now. I just seen a spot of rain. That might just be me eyes playing tricks on me though. Jordan is just trying to get up the track to let other drivers through. He should still get out though, shouldn't he, for his final run? He's got more than enough time, surely.
Yeah, I think he should be fine. With regards to that, you see Jack Pearson on a lap down the Mistral Straight through the chicane. He's on the soft compound tyre, and he's invalidated the lap at the chicane.
Well, it's a very easy thing to do. Seen the Ferrari there, he just totally straight lined it as well, probably to get round the starter's lap. And Jack Pearson, again though, he should get one more lap in. I'm not sure if he was going quicker on that lap, but still it'll be a disappointment.
Yeah, he's not going to be very happy with that, it has to be said.
So it's a bit quiet now on track. We've got drivers on out laps, of course, but no drivers on actual laps. I don't think we've got Angel versus Death just starting a lap. Mr. John as well. No, I think he's also just... Yeah, Mr. John's also on a lap as well in 11th place.
I think it's just Mr. John, because Angel versus Death is... Well, he's got no ERS left, so it's either, you know, terrible management or... he's on his own lap.
He's only 1/10 down at the exact there. Mr. John. Oh, well, that's not the racing line.
No, he's missed the chicane.
Yeah, and well, I don't know if he will actually get another run if he pits. If he pits, I'm not sure he will.
I don't think he will. No, I think that's it for Mr. John. P11 at best, and we've still got Baza behind him.
So here we go then. Alistair gets ready to set his lap. His final lap. He's continuing to close in on the guys ahead of him in the championship. We're very close to the halfway stage now, of course, of this season, this 22 race season. This is round 10. Still a lot more twists and turns to come, I'm sure, in this season. Red Bull Kim has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in before the race starts. As he's purple sector 1, Alistair.
Looking to build. Well, I say build. He's not on pole at the moment, so yeah, he's less than a tenth behind, and he's going to be looking to take his second pole of the night. Jordan is in the pits, so he's not going to be able to defend that provisional pole position.
Yeah, well, there's 1 minute 50 seconds left. I'm just wondering if he's going to get out. Into just seen Owen.
Oh, he is.
Just got out.
On an outlap. My apologies.
And Alistair is 2/10 up. He's gone purple again in sector 2. It's going to be very close between him and Jordan for pole position here. They're only separated by 7 points in the championship. Oh, that looked like a lot of speed he was taking into Lavose there. This is looking like a quick lap. I haven't spotted any real significant errors either.
Yeah, he's looking good right now. Less than a tenth to find. It'll be interesting to see. Jordan will be on track in the dying moments of the session as Alistair exits the final corner.
Alistair took pole in Azerbaijan, he took pole in Canada just a moment ago. Is he going to make that 3 in a row? He gets a 128.286. Jordan has to find 3/10 on his final run to prevent another Alistair pole. Kamababa was 3/10 up. Yeah, Kamababa, of course, could also potentially spoil the party, although I have to say Jordan and Alistair are so far ahead, even just of Kamababa's 129.3 lap time there, so Kamababa will need some improvement. This is where he lost it last time round, and again he got slightly squiggly there through turn 12, but he did not do a 360 as he done earlier, so he will finish this lap. It will be his final run as Baza jumps up into 3rd place. Well, that's going to be quite significant.
Yeah, he might have been expecting to be higher on the grid on those mediums as Kamababa takes P3 back.
Yeah, Kamababa gets back into 3rd. Baza did switch to the softs for the final run, it looks like. Jack Pearson starts his final lap, and Jordan starts his final lap. And this is what it's all going to come down to. Mike Noon is also on a lap, but he's marginally slower in the middle sector. Here he comes around the final corner, and we'll just watch this to see if he can make any improvements. Can he maybe get ahead of Jack before he sets his final lap? Across the line? No, he did improve, but it was by less than a tenth. It's a 129.6.
Jack is a quarter of a second down on his time in the first sector. And
Jordan's invalidated. Jordan has invalidated his last lap, which is going to give Alistair the pole unless Jack Pearson sets the lap of all laps here.
Well, I don't think it has to be said. It's not looking likely,
And
and
he's
he's
invalidated
invalidated
as
anyway.
well. Oh dear, well, what an anticlimax that is to the end of this session then. Bazza will be delighted that Bazza can start fourth.
We do have
Jack
Owen on a lap.
Pearson,
Owen 4 tenths
we
up.
do. We do. Apologies to Owen. Apologies to
Although,
Owen. We thought he was going to miss tonight's races, and I briefly missed him there, but he is here. And
can
he is
he
in this
get?
final sector.
Can he get a top 5? Maybe even a top 4. At the moment, he's on course to move up to the top 6. But if he can find more time in this final sector, he should move himself up into a very good position. And he goes P6. Just missing out on P5.
Yeah, it's very close there between Jack and Owen. And Jordan's on another lap. Jordan went for one more run. And he doesn't.
Yeah, it's his AI.
That's invalidated lap.
It is.
Oh,
it was
his
2
AI,
tenths
yeah.
up. Even his invalidated lap wasn't good enough. So
I think that is definitely it this time.
Yep.
Do we know if Red Bull Kim got back in? Not sure.
I don't think he has. Oh, everyone's retired.
Hopefully, and we have results this time.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, Alistair is on pole and 3 in a row. Jordan is in second place. Cameron Babbo 8 tenths behind in third. Bazza an excellent fourth. Jack Pearson in fifth. And Owen just behind in sixth place. Mike doing there in seventh. Blair Girls, another solid qualifying for him in eighth place. Saya Sports, that's a good qualifying as well for him in ninth. Angel versus Death in 10th. Dom is 11th. Mr. John 12th. Indecisive 13th. Sir Tom Penguin 14th. Red Bull Kim 15th. Hopefully he can make it back. And Alex did not set a time, but he's still here. Getting ready then for this race in France.
Should be an exciting race between the top two.
It should. It should indeed. Will we have rain? No, we will not. It is another bright day here at Paul Ricard, and once again, as we're waiting for the race, let's have a look at, see what we can spot. I think is that the hospitality area there, just above the pit garages.
Yeah, the VIP areas. Yeah, in the Aramco lined pit lane.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Those guys have got some good views of the race here. They're applauding. I don't know what they're applauding. There's nothing happening at the moment, as the drivers will be right now selecting the strategy. They'll be deciding how much fuel to run. They'll be preparing themselves for this start. They will be getting ready to enable the clutch. So here we go. The timer comes down to 0. Getting ready for the race in France. We're underway. It's a good start by Jordan. It's a very good start by Jordan. Alistair not so much. Jordan might take the lead here. Camille Babbo slotting behind into third place. What's going to happen into turn 1? Can Jordan go round the outside? No, we got Camille Babbo's right there. Oh, they nearly made contact. Bazza almost. Bazza's hit Camille Babbo. And round goes Owen. Owen is round. Owen has spun. He got caught up in that instant with Bazza. Dom has had an amazing start. Dom's into fourth. Dom drove round the whole incident and is into fourth place. An amazing start by Dom Smith. Absolutely brilliant. Owen is at the back.
I don't think Dom has received any penalties for that, so all that was legal.
No,
he's just managed to drive through everyone.
Yeah, it was totally legitimate. It was just a brilliant start. Look at Saya Sports as well. It's Jack Pearson with front wing damage. It is. So Jack Pearson must have got caught up in that as well. Mike Noon's going to dive down into 6th place here. Jack Pearson will shut up, be careful on the brakes. And there we go. Mike Noon gets that position. Well, so Dom Smith is in 4th, Owen in 5th, but look at this now. Jack Pearson, he's going to have to pit, isn't he? Can you see that damage? That's surely going to be pit.
Surely, yeah, that's... Yeah, I mean, look at this through here.
Oh, it's very difficult to turn to Siemens and destroys the brake mark buds, and he's kind of causing a bit of a log behind here. Oh, and he's goes straight into the back of his... That Angel... Goes up into 9th. Owen is still at the back. And is Alex going to go around the outside of Jack here? Forces him off slightly, but surely Jack is going to pit.
As we see a predicted pit stop strategy for Jack Pearson. I don't think it's very accurate, given that he has to come into the pits now.
He does, and Mike Noon comes into the pits now as well, so Mike Noon must have picked up damage there as well. So Tom Penguin as well then. I wonder if Owen will pit. No, he doesn't. Owen does not pit. Owen continues. Carnage as they went into turn 2. It looked like Bazza just spun, just lost the car by himself. Coming back, kept it in a straight line, and Owen just sort of got caught up in it and just went right off the track. And Dom and Say Sports sort of just slipped through it all, and in excellent positions at the 4th and 5th.
7 places gained on lap 1 for Dom, 8 places gained for Alex. They are the big winners of lap 1.
And Mr. John as well in 6th place, also gained positions there as well, of course. And he is on the medium tyres, I should say, and he does not look to have any sort of damage or anything like that. As Angel versus Death and Neljack here getting a feisty. I saw it looking slightly quick as you came, but it all looks good. Oh, Say Sports left the session. That's terrible for his race. He's going to fly down the field now, but look at these. Bazza looking to go up the inside of Neljack as he tries to recover his race from the instant it starts. As Owen immediately rejoins Bazza in his helmet. It looks a lot like Alex Albon's. Neljack stays ahead. Look at that. Neljack is totally out of ERS already on this lap. I don't know how he's managed that so early on in the lap, but alas, that is what's happened, and he should still keep 8th place.
He should indeed, Mr. John, the highest medium
Owen pits on the soft tyres then, so I don't know if it's that strategic, if he's just going to try and run the rest of the race on mediums, see what happens. Surely he's not going to put hards on, is he?
Let's see. On board with him now in the pit lane. Looking for a smooth stop down at Racing Point as Jack Pearson picks up a time penalty, as does Angel versus Death. There's mediums and a wing change for Owen.
And a wing change. As look at Bazza and Neljack as they briefly touch, but it's all good. Is Neljack going to try and stay with him at the inside? That's a very difficult thing to do. And Bazza gets the position into 8th place. I'd say a sportsman very wide as he rejoins the race, but at least he's back, and he hasn't lost a huge amount of time. He is in 7th place, but Owen, Jack Pearson to Tom Penguin all putting hard tyres on when they pit, as Baz has just easily got through Say Sports as well. Well, I don't know what Say Sports is playing at. I don't know what he's trying to achieve, and let's just see what else we can find, shall we?
Yep, on board now with Mr. John.
Have all your graphics gone, by the way? Your intervals?
Yeah, intervals have disappeared. Apart from 13th downwards, we have... I don't know why we have them, but maybe when they cross the line it will happen. I mean, it is an issue that we had yesterday in the TGP1 stream. It seems to be every second race the intervals temporarily disappear.
They should reappear now as you cross the line. There we go.
There we go.
We'll see. We'll get the gaps back. Dom's still in that very solid 4th place. I can't wait to see how Dom manages to finish in this race, what position he's going to finish in, and how he will react post-race. He will be delighted, I am sure. As Owen at the back trying to recover, get past Tom Penn when he's on the medium tyres, of course.
And we have a battle for the lead starting to brew now. Jordan within DRS range of Alistair. Camo Babbo has slipped back a little bit after looking strong in the opening laps. He's looking a bit too far back. He's not got a lot of VRS, whereas Alistair has nearly 60%, whereas Jordan is just above 20. So Sports has the third from the session.
Alistair seems to always manage his ERS very well, doesn't he? Although I suppose it's easier when you're in the lead than when you're trying to be behind, passing people. Although saying that, Conor Babbo in 3rd place does actually have more ERS at this stage of the race. And then there's a bit of a gap. It's Dom in 4th place, almost 10 seconds, but I mean, do you think Dom would take 4th place in this race, Roy?
Yeah, I think he'd be thrilled with that, to be honest. I mean, after that start, I mean, I think, you know, when he's looking good, he's got a gap to the car behind. And the car's behind that as well. So, I mean, you know, we've got, you know, Owen and Jack and Mike at the back of the field now after incidents at the opening part of this race. So I think if Dom can just keep it together, he's looking very good for at least a top 5.
He is indeed, as Bazza begins to close in on Angel versus Death here in 6th place, who was also another one of the drivers who sort of avoided the instance at the start. Angel versus Death is actually pitted here for a change of tyres, and Mike Noon goes round on Blair Girls for 11th place as he recovers through the field. Owen is 2.5 seconds back from Jack Pearson in 13th as well. He will not be happy at all with how this race has panned out. You might be thinking maybe you should have just missed it.
Jack Pearson lining up Blair Grills. Might be a bit tough now because Blair Grills is still in the DRS of Mike Noon.
Well, Angel Vist's going to come out the pit lane here, right in front of them all. Oof! Got close with Mike Noon there. Did you see that, right?
Yeah, that problematic pit lane exit. Well,
almost causing an incident, but thankfully not. Blair Grills there in second place. Sorry, Roy.
I'm saying everyone's wise to it, no incidents, and the race continues on.
It does indeed, and it continues on with Alistair. You mentioned earlier it looked like Jordan had closed in, and he had, but Alistair has pulled away a little bit now. You can tell he's used a bit more of his overtake though, but he has still got fairly solid lead. Look, Blair Grills and Angel Vs Death and Jack Pearson. Oh, and they've touched. Jack Pearson tried to make the move on Angel Vs Death, and he's gone into a spin, and it will allow Owen to go through. Owen will be in the nicest possible way delighted with that moment as he moves up into 13th now. Don Pitt from 4th on the soft tyres. Where will this bring him out, I wonder?
Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver. Should be a swift stop from the Mercedes crew, especially because bad pit stops are not implemented into the game. So here he comes out of the pits. Very slow pit lane around here. I'm not quite sure why it's so slow. You know,
he should get out ahead of Owen. Mike Noon. I always call Owen Mike Noon because of the Noonie. I get confused. Anyway, he's done it.
Easily through.
Yeah, just very easy in the end.
And he's on fresher tyres, and not only fresher tyres, but a step softer in compound. As Mike Noon gets a penalty, and I don't think Dom does.
No, I don't think he has, no. Owen is on the back of Angel versus Death now as well. Us on the hard tyres, as we saw him pit on the previous lap. Red Bull Kim is in 11th place, but that he seems to be a coast car. He's not here as Angel versus Death just slots right down the inside there. Obviously with no sort of penalty or risk or anything. 6 laps in at the front, and we must be getting close to pit stops for these top 3. In fact, here comes Alistair. Alistair is the first to pit. Oh, you have to be so careful as well not to break the speed limit around here. You mentioned how slow it was. As Kamababo also pits. The graphic people put him ahead of Jordan. Such as the bizarre pit entry here.
It's almost like the opposite of Canada. You cut the last corner as opposed to cutting the first corner.
That's very true. Yeah, Bazza also comes in. He'll be so disappointed that he got caught up in that instance at the start. He really was on for a good result here. Kamababo comes out the pit lane. Mr. John will jump into second place to briefly make it an AlphaTauri 1-2 on the road.
And Mr. John will have the fresher tyres at the end as we see
It's Blair Grills. It's Blair Grills has gone off. Blair Grills went off at turn 12. I'm not sure how or exactly what happened, but Owen's in 10th now.
Looking very good. Well, I say very good. I mean, obviously, bearing in mind what has happened earlier to him in the race, he could still make up a few positions. Yeah.
And Bazza comes out just ahead of him. He has jumped Alex though, who's down into 13. And as Alistair will overtake Mr. John on the road here to end that AlphaTauri 1-2, as I thought he was going to run wide there, but he doesn't. It's been solid as ever, Alistair, tonight. What a night he is having. Will Mr. John fancy trying to come back on him? Surely not. No, you're not going to come back from there. Jordan, then, when will he pit? Will he pit this lap?
I'd say so. I mean, I don't think there's much that the softs have left to give, and yes, he comes into the pits and he does not speed in the pit lane. He's stopped on his marks, and well, see where he comes out. I'd imagine behind Mr. John for now, but I don't think his AlphaTauri teammate will make it too difficult for him.
Well, yeah, and I mean, can Kamababo possibly undercut Jordan here? I think he had quite a bit of a fair gap, didn't he, before the pit stops?
Yeah, it should be as you were prior to the pits.
It's coming around the final corner. It might be quite close, actually, Jordan's going up to speed now. It's going to be very close, but he's just will stay ahead. But Kamababo was right there. He was purple sector 3. Kamababo was flying on that lap, obviously. And he might be able to have a run, actually, with DRS down this Mistral straight.
Similar levels of ERS management. So
Yep.
should be a fairly straight fight, although Kamababa will have the DRS, so he needs to get a good exit now out of turn 6 and not to turn 7. As Baza picks up a 3-second penalty.
Here we go then. Both use an overtake. They both got DRS, as you say. DRS is for Camo Babo. You can sort of go for very late moves down here. It's a bit of an as he nearly tried to have a go at the chicane there, but you're not going to get that done there, and it would be very risky to have a go into Sean corner. But he is right there, and I have a feeling, or at least I certainly hope, that this battle will stay like this till the end of the race.
Yeah, this is looking pretty spicy, it has to be said. As Mike Noon is catching Dom, but bear in mind, Mike Noon does have a penalty, as Sir Tom Penguin picks up a penalty, and Red Bull Kim has rejoined the race. He'll be setting his sights after P14, Sir Tom Penguin.
Does, yeah. Indecisive, and Mr. John still yet to pit, of course. They run 2nd and 5th. And when they do pit, of course, Dom will almost certainly retain his, or get back up into 4th place. As you say, though, Mike Noon is hunting him down with that penalty.
Now I think Jordan will be helped out by his teammate here, because he may well be in the DRS range, which won't help Camo Babo in terms of the slipstream down the Mistral Straight.
That's a very good point. Yes, Camo Babo will be sitting behind, and he'll understand. He'll understand what's going on here. He will realise that he will have DRS. Although, John was it looked like Miss John was kind of quite slow through that final corner, which might have annoyed Jordan slightly through that corner, but Jordan's through, and as long as he doesn't mess up his braking points here, he's now got a car in between him and Camo Babo before Mr. John makes a stop.
Looking very good for Jordan. For 2nd place, Alistair has disappeared into the distance again.
He has. What a night Alistair's having. I did hear before the race, as is Camo Babo going to go for Mr. John down here. Alistair gets a penalty. Alistair has a penalty. He has got a 4.3 second lead though, so if he can just maintain that, he will still win this race. I think Jordan's got one, has he?
I don't believe so, but he's got 1.3 seconds of leeway. Jordan does have a lap fresher tyres that could play crucial towards the end of this race, as we see Mr. John enter the pit lane to switch to the soft tyres. He's changing quite late, it has to be said. I wonder if he's gambling on a late safety car.
As Jordan sets the fastest lap. It's a bit like The Price is Right, isn't it? You can be 3 seconds over, but not 1 millisecond under. Exactly. Otherwise you will lose the position. There's one for the kids. I'm sure you'll all understand what I'm referring to there. Probably not. Mike Noon is closing in on Dom once again here for 4th place. Jordan has it to 3.9 now. Alistair's having to use his overtake as well.
Jordan has to be very careful when he pushes that he doesn't himself get a time penalty, as Mike Noon has just picked up another penalty, which will be, music to Dom Smith's ears.
Yeah, and Dom runs wide, and Mike Noon will go through. But Dom, if he talks to his engineer, and if he's got certain people in his ear to inform him of what's going on in this race, he will understand that he's effectively still in 4th place anyway. He might literally still be in 4th place if he gets past here with DRS at the chicane, and he does do it. He gets back into 4th place, so it was only he lost that position very briefly, although I think Mike Noon's going to go for this here into C corner. This is a very tricky corner to go side by side. Don't tell me he's done it. He has. It's even really before they've approached the corner.
He had his overtake saved up, or at least enough overtake saved up. I wonder if Dom Smith knows about the penalty, because he's got Baza coming up behind. Unsure if Baza has penalties or not.
I don't believe Baza has a penalty. He does. Baza does have a penalty. Baza does have a penalty. Dom, of course, still does not have one at all. He has had a wonderfully clean race here, and quite frankly, he deserves a top 5 result. I think all TGP fans across the world will agree with that.
Yeah, Dom is the league host, remember?
Yep. That's not. I'm not saying it's not like to say he's told me to say that or anything, but I'm just saying he will literally be a very popular result if he was to get a top 5, I think. Mr. John on those fresh softs, he actually looks like he might be closing in on Owen here for 7th place.
Yeah, he's looking very strong right now. Let's see now into the Mistral straight, or well, not quite yet, of course, but you know he needs to set himself up. Oh, and Jordan gets a penalty.
And Jordan gets a penalty. So that's nullified the battle at the front. Kamibabo does not have one though, so right now Kamibabo is in second place effectively.
You can just, you know, he's only got to lose 4/10 to lose that second place as Jack Pearson picks up a 3-second penalty. As Mr. John was not able to get past Owen, but can Jack get past Blair Grills? Yes, he can.
And indeed, on the hard tyres, because he's been on them since the very start, since on lap 1. So not necessarily the very start, but of course he had to pit for the damage he sustained at the start. Kamibabo is 2.6 seconds behind Jordan still, so he is still looking like he might just grab second place across the line here with 2 laps to go in this race. Bazza closing in on Dom Smith.
Closing in, only half a second back now. As Dom runs wide into the final corner. Is that to get a good exit, or has he just run wide? Bazza with the DRS now into turn 1. Will go on board. Camera angles aren't always the best. And he's just too far back at this current moment.
And is Mr. John going to go for Owen here around the outside? This would be a brilliant move into turn 1. Oh, that's a fantastic move as he sweeps round ahead of Owen for 7th place. What a wonderful overtake by Mr. John. Well, Owen think about having to go back into this turn 3 now. That would have been way too much of a risk. Well, not a great race at all for Owen after getting caught in that instance.
The gap at the front has come down to 3.6. If Jordan didn't get that penalty, this could have been a lot more tense, but alas.
Here's Bazza. Bazza now down the straight into this chicane. Dom tries to stay with him and stays around the outside. Look at that, he's found the space and he's created the space to stay ahead, but Bazza gets a better exit out the chicane and ends up in 5th place. Can Dom... Well, actually, Dom is falling back behind Bazza here. You can see Bazza has a straight line speed into scene as Dom was very on the edge there around that corner. Bazza in 5th place though, and as you say, I believe Bazza has a penalty, so if he can stay within 3 seconds, Dom can still get this top 5.
Yeah, I think Dom just needs to, you know, keep his head together and just keep it clean. And he should easily finish within 3 seconds of the Welshman. You see a yellow flag in sector 2 as we see a spin, I believe, for Tom Penguin.
That's Tom Penguin, I think. Yeah, it is. It is Tom Penguin. Final lap then of this race. And much like in Canada, Alistair is barely way out in front. He did pick up a penalty in this race, but it's not going to trouble him. Unless he gets another one now, of course. And he will win this race. Surely. Kamibabo, it's going to be very close for that second. Look at the gap now. With the penalties applied.
How's the overtake looking? And oh, Kamibabo, he's trying everything. He's run out. He's trying his very best to keep within 3 seconds, and it's 3.0 at the moment.
It's going to be a close one across the line. It's going to be very close for the championship leader and Jordan as well, who is just behind in 3rd place in the championship. But look at this guy. He's going to take the maximum amount of points from tonight, at least in terms of finishing positions. Jordan looks like he'll snatch the fastest lap, but through the final corner, he's still got a load of overtake. He uses it anyway to extend his gap, and Alistair makes it 2 tonight, 2 wins. He wins here at Le Castellet, a fantastic race win for him. Jordan will finish 2nd, and Kamibabo will be 2/10 down in 3rd place. Jordan, he pulled out the fastest lap on the last lap, and boy did he need to do so. He keeps 2nd.
Yeah, very solid performance from Jordan. 2.9 seconds at the end. That final penalty playing crucial.
Mike Nguyen will finish on the road in 4th place. This will be interesting as Baz across the line goes to 4th, and Dom will jump up to 4th, and Mr. John will get 5th. Fantastic stuff for him, who also got ahead of Bazza and Mike Nguyen. Mr. John in a brilliant 5th place, dominant in a even better 4th. Bazza will be 6th, Mike Nguyen 7th, Owen after the instance at the start 8th, Blair Girls 9th, Jack Pearson also got caught up in the instance, he will be 10th.
Wow.
And I wonder who the driver of the day will be. Mr. John. I think he got driver of the day in Monaco as well, I want to say. Earlier in the season, last week. There we go. There's the podium. Once again, it's that man on top for another win this season.
Here we go. I've only got the podium now, just for, you know, I had a black screen as we see the unknown Renault mechanic return.
So, another 25 points for Alistair then. He has picked up 50 points tonight. What a night for him. Jordan will finish in second place. Camo Babo gets into third place. He could not make up the time on Jordan at the end. Dom in that absolutely brilliant fourth. Mr. John fifth. Bazza will be sixth. Mike Noon seventh. Owen in eighth. Blair Girls in ninth. Jack Pearson in 10th place. Mel Jack 11th. University Health in sight of 13th. Tom Penguin 14th. Red Bull King 15th. Saya Sports did not finish this race, of course. Well, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a great night of racing, and I don't believe we saw a single safety car or VSC in both races.
That's a very good point. Yeah, I don't think we did at all, did we? So fair play to all the drivers for not enabling such a thing to happen there. Respect to them all.
Yeah, no real retirements. The only retirements we saw were in the pit lane. So yeah, clean racing. I mean, Paul Ricard is a circuit that does enable lights to flag racing. It is, you know, that kind of motorsport complex.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. I'm just trying to very quickly, before we go, try and have a look at the standings. It may not be absolutely accurate, but I'll have a go. I think at this moment in time, you've got Camo Babo. It's so close. The top four. Well, Camo Babo is on 156 points, I think, and then Jordan is 15 back on 141. Then Alistair's on 140 after his 2 wins tonight, and Owen is on 139. That's what I believe we're up to right now. Very close championship.
Yeah, it's wide open, and it has been since the start of the season. We've still got no idea really who's actually going to win this, because it seems to change all the time, which is, you know, exactly what we want to see. It's a pity, you know, F1 in real life isn't like that, but anyway.
Yep. Well, this is the place to come for close action, and that's where we'll end tonight, I think. If you want any updates on potential penalties or anything like that, it would be best to check TGPSeries on Twitter. We will be back next week with races around Austria and Silverstone, which of course for many of the drivers in the league is their home race. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.